Why teach about health, equity, and environmental justice? Why teach about health, equity, and environmental justice? Joseph Kerski here with you to unpack this important topic. For centuries, maps have inspired people to explore and investigate places that were little known to them. In our modern world, maps are still used for exploration. Increasingly, however, the new places are thematic, focused on issues and challenges facing people and the planet. One theme is the intertwining challenge of human health, social and racial equity, and environmental justice. GIS practitioners are particularly suited to build tools, use technology, and apply spatial thinking skills that support efforts to build a more equitable world. Many GIS users are showing how GIS is critical for launching social justice initiatives because GIS helps organizations identify inequities, define needs, plan and target projects for alleviating inequities and improving the health and lives of people. Furthermore, patterns of health, social issues, and environmental inequities occur across multiple scales. Global pandemics, a community's history of segregation, or plumes of hazardous waste near residents. These places where issues of health, equity, and environmental justice interconnect are spatial phenomena and therefore can be effectively taught in tandem. The COVID-19 pandemic made connections between geography, health, and GIS painfully clear. The Johns Hopkins University COVID-19 dashboard, created with ArcGIS, became the most used dashboard in history, with trillions with a T of views, as people found it useful in making daily decisions. The use of GIS can enhance instruction about health, equity, and environmental justice. Let's explore that for a bit. Patterns of health, equity, and environmental justice are influenced by cultural heritage, political geography, history, and the physical environment. A well-rounded approach to studying these topics within a spatial context thus requires rigorous use of activities in the other chapters in this book and resources recommended in this chapter's Continue Your Learning section. In nonprofit organizations, government agencies, and industry, GIS is increasingly used in analyzing these issues. No longer are these issues seen in isolation, and bridge-building tools that modern GIS offers makes it excellent for looking across disciplinary physical and cultural boundaries in quotes, because oftentimes these are really not boundaries at all. The advent of qualitative spatial statistics surveys, analysis tools, and mapping techniques have enriched these studies. No longer is GIS relegated to quantitative data alone. Given modern-day encouragement for instructors to teach in interdisciplinary ways, a spatial approach enables examining linkages and relationships across geography, sociology, psychology, social justice, and environmental science, as well as data science, public safety, communications, and other fields. To chart a more resilient and equitable future, an important theme of this book, students as future decision makers must understand the geographic aspects of health, equity, and environmental justice. Many UN Sustainable Development Goals tie to these topics. Socioeconomic conditions impact poverty, hunger, equity, and health. Employment changes and even internet access impact education and economic progress. Resource access and allocation fosters or lessens inequalities. Behaviors affect physical, mental, and economic health for families and communities. Global trade and local economies impact supply, consumption, and production, and thus affect the abilities and resiliency of people in rural areas and in cities. GIS makes this an exciting time to teach these topics. A growing set of interactive maps, charts, analytical tools, and data sources is available in the GIS environment to teach about health, equity, and environmental justice. These data sets cover information on behaviors, wellness, disease, physical and mental health, historical segregation, housing, impact of hazards, and job security delivered as interactive maps, dashboards, infographics, and web mapping applications. GIS brings current health and environmental variables to these analyses with the ability to forecast the future. Like elsewhere in this book, this chapter will highlight several useful tools and data sets, modeling ways of teaching with them in a GIS environment. These, a subset of the ever-expanding set of tools and data available, were chosen to inspire instructors and learners to deeply explore these resources. For example, In this chapter's activity on human health, one of 75 variables in a U.S. county-level data set are explored. Data are available for other countries as well. Another activity explores flood risk in neighborhoods in Auckland, New Zealand. Additional neighborhoods could be explored in those cities, or the same issues could be examined in one's own community. As always, learners are encouraged to be critical consumers of data. The information is detailed and fascinating. However, like all data, it is imperfect. In many places, data on these topics are not collected or are not made available. Consider issues of data justice and equity. Who decides what gets mapped? What doesn't get mapped? Which maps get updated on a regular basis? Can these maps be trusted? How do you know if you can trust them? These questions must be continually asked and grappled with. Think about health and equity issues in your city. What is the history of social and racial interaction there? What hazards has your city experienced? And what environmental issues are present due to decisions past and present? What are the health concerns of people you talk with? Starting with local topics of concern is often the best way to begin your journey. Within minutes, you can build your own collection of maps about topics you care about. It could be affordable housing, employment, green spaces, air quality, crime, access to computers or the internet, senior population, graffiti, invasive species, homelessness, or health and wellness. GIS is more than just mapping. It's more than just mapping. Since its inception, GIS has provided tools, data, and most importantly, a framework for solving relevant pressing problems. GIS can help students, instructors, and researchers learn about issues of racial equity and social justice, why they are serious, their spatial and temporal patterns, and most importantly, form action plans for how to solve them. Furthermore, the options for using qualitative and social science data and methods in a GIS continue to expand. Why are subsegments of the population more vulnerable to natural hazards while they occur and their recovery afterwards? How does vulnerability become perpetuated and exacerbated with future hazards? Why are some people more likely to suffer from the location and effects of environmental contaminants? What in history caused the present situation? The importance of spatial thinking extends to action. Using GIS is not just to gain skills or foster understanding, but to enable plans to be proposed and acted upon such that these populations are less vulnerable in the future. Hazards, health, and human populations are dynamic, changing through time and across scales and locations, from regions to communities and with changing political and social situations across countries. Human health is determined in part not only by where people are living now, but where they have lived before. A natural hazard may disrupt one neighborhood or, in the case of the Boxing Day Southeast Asia tsunami of 2004 that you will analyze, it may affect an entire region, millions of square kilometers, or even the entire planet, as was evident during the COVID-19 pandemic. How can GIS be used to teach about health, equity, and justice? How can GIS be used to enhance skill building and inquiry through the use of ever-changing data in real-world scenarios? How can teaching these topics with GIS empower students and foster career pathways through using the same tools that decision makers use daily on the job? And for examples of data and issues, see the graphics that you have noticed during this video. These are the issues that you will explore and the data sets you will explore and the communities you will explore in this chapter. I hope it's an adventure. I hope it inspires you to think deeply about these issues and also about the value of spatial holistic thinking. Thanks.